Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel. And for all you who know me, yes, I have a black eye. And it's not because Christine took a swing at me because I forgot her birthday. By the way, today is Christine's 60th birthday. I know it's not polite to tell a lady's age, but I think she's quite proud of it. Senior citizen, senior discounts. So, and I'm not far behind her, just in case you're wondering. So anyway, the black eye. Table tennis is a brutal sport. I was playing a guy last night, particularly powerful hitter. I'm a bit of a retriever and a blocker. I went to block a smash, came off the side of my bat. Ball hit me just on the side of the eye. Yes, it hurt, but it doesn't hurt now. It just looks bad. Enough of that. We are now up to part 64 of the Emergency Storage Shed Cleanout series. We need to deal with these boxes that were, well, drawers from the cabinet we got out last week. So I'll quickly go through that. It won't take long. There's not going to be any real value. I'll just show you what I'm going to do with it. And then we're going to get another big chest of drawers out of that room, so which I think I'm going to keep. So not much value this time, but we will be making a lot of space. Okay, without any further ado, let's sort out what we're going to do with these. Bit of hardware in some of the drawers. The other drawers are all empty, so we just have to sort out this lot. I might move the camera back and we'll tip them out on the bench. One drawer at a time, and we'll quickly sort out what we're going to do with it. There we go. I think that'll give us a bit of room. So, oh, incidentally, these drawers, there was one where it was a bit easier to read. They were made out of boxes, and it was, as we deciphered last time, I can't find one with writing on it now. Must have been one of the empty ones. Yeah, it was a boot polish company, Hathaway's, and they do have little jars, and I have actually dug some. I don't have any at hand to show you, but there are 1900s to 1920s little jar, and these were obviously the boxes that the jars were shipped in, and it's still got the advertising on the side, so that's pretty cool, although it's a shame it was painted over. All right, this first one has retro hardware in it. I'll get the camera a little closer, I think, so you can see. How's that? I think that'll be a bit better. So what am I going to do with this lot? Well, I don't want to keep a lot of this stuff here. I'm not really doing furniture restorations. If you're a scrapper, some of these are brass, some are a die-cast zinc, and a magnet's not going to be able to pick between those two. That one's actually steel. Some can be stainless steel. That one could be brass, maybe not. But I think they're too good for scrap. So I'm going to put them in a box at the shop. And I think we'll just do the whole lot at like $5, maybe $1 a pick, or yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll do $1 a pick or $5 a lot. Oh, that's the felt from behind a radio knob. I might hang on to that one. And the others, they're 60s and 70s. There's even some screws that suit it. Various styles. So I reckon we'll do that whole bulk lot. We might try $10 a lot for a start. So $1 each or $10 a lot, and if it hangs around too long, I can actually drop the price. But yeah, if I need something like this, I'll go to the shop and have a look and see what I've got in stock. And if I have sold it, well, I've got $10. So I think I'm better off doing it that way rather than saving things that I'll probably never ever use. So I'll find a box for that shortly. This next one, I was going to keep these ones because I do plan on restoring some older locks down the track. And I will be trying to match up brass doorknobs that aren't damaged. I will need some of the shafts that go through. They don't take up a lot of room to keep a few of these, so I'll keep those for now. The other thing is, the more modern ones I probably won't worry about. I'm really just looking for the much older brass ones. And I am going to make as you all guessed in a recent video, I am going to make a coat hook rack from some old door hardware. So I'll probably need a few of those for that as well. So we'll hang on to those for now. Next box, we have some hinges. And lots of different sorts here. There's a heavy gate hinge. Oh yeah, we've got 2 gate hinges, so they will sell. I suspect it would probably get $5 the pair of gate hinges. The T hinges do sell quite well also, and also I've had some of these type of hinges that will sell. So if we've got pairs, I think we'll price them out. It may only be like $3, maybe $5, depending on how good the hinges are. That's not exactly a pair, one's longer than the other. So I'll just sort these out quickly. There may be no pairs, they might be all odd ones. There's some brass ones as well. Oh, that looks like maybe a piano hinge that's been cut down. It's very rough on the end. There's a latch from a box, a lockable box or something. A stepped hinge, that's off an army box. So we have a bit of a mixture again. I'll quickly sort them and see if we do have any pairs. Okay, there's nothing particularly good in here. Some of the pairs are kind of pairs, but not exactly. There are a couple of pairs, but they're not particularly valuable hinges. I'm going to do exactly the same with these hinges. I will sell the gate hinges. They will get $5 a pair. But the rest of it, I'm going to do exactly the same as the retro door hardware. And I'm going to put that all in a box of $1 each or $10 a lot. And that will move all that on. And again, if I need a pair of hinges or even just one brass hinge, I could probably go to the shop and find one for free because it's my shop. So there we go. That's what I'm doing with all the hinges. I have a few file handles here. I will keep those because sometimes I use these handles on things like kitchen mincers and things that need repairing that need a handle. And it's handy to grab some older handles. That's a nice one. And I'm not sure what the black one was off. I don't think it's just a file handle. So I might hang on to some of those. That's the collar of one of them. So perhaps these can stay in one of these drawers and I can use the drawers to keep things like those other doorknobs as well. And here's something else I'm going to keep is some picture hanging wire because I do frame up pictures from time to time and I use this. So we're going to have a little bit of hardware that we'll keep here, but I'm going to also have some to sell. Okay, to save time, I've processed everything quickly. I'll show you what I've done here. We have some automotive globes that are clearly blown. At least with these you can see the elements in them. The good ones I've put in a jar. I don't use automotive globes hardly at all, and if I ever needed one, I'd probably just go and buy a new one. We'll just put $5 on those. The guys that restore old cars would probably like them. I think they're all 12-volt ones. I'll take that one to the shop. It's a 240-volt globe. It may be a fridge one. I'll keep the little ones because I'll use them in various projects here. That's our radio felt, a bit of brass. I'm going to throw these old casters in the irony aluminium because I don't have the sockets for them to plug into. I don't think they're worth trying to sell. We'll get $5 for those hinges. I thought this hardware would put $1 each on. I've got a box at the shop for early hardware items, $1 each. The alligator clips here, I'm just going to put $5 a lot. $5 a lot on all those latches. I get so many of these that I just want to clear them out. I don't need any here. Some of them are magnetic catches. Most of them are these roller catches. $5 a lot. We'll go $10 a lot on the vintage sash window locks and lifts. I think they're all mostly brass and they're pretty old ones. So $10 there. $10 a lot on all that hardware. $10 a lot on the hinges. And $10 a lot on the retro drawer fittings and that sort of stuff. I might have the option of $1 a pick or $10 a lot, but I'm just keen to move it on. So even at those fire sale prices, that's going to add up to a bit of money. All the drawers are now empty, except for a couple here. I'm keeping the little handles and the old door locks there, and also the box of springs I'll hang on to here because sometimes I do use springs. So that's sorted all that. Let's clear the bench off and try and get that other big cabinet in, and I'll show you what it looks like out in the shed at the moment. Just before we get to that, here's the cabinet that those drawers I just had came out of. So I've found a spot in my main workshop that I can park it for now at least and actually use the drawers, so that will help. Let's go and have a look at the other one now. And check out how much room we're making. Look at this. I can almost get a bit of a run up when I walk. So we've come a bit of a way from the front door, considering when we first started this series, you could barely squeeze past that air compressor. In fact, I think that compressor wasn't even there because you needed that space to get through into the main shed. So we've come a long way. We've processed a lot of stuff, and I've set up some scrap bins here, which I may have pointed out before. And there's a bit of other stuff that I am keeping that has to stay there for now. Right, these cabinets, that's the bottom of one. There's actually two separate cabinets. They're like filing drawers, and one sits on top of the other. So I think they're empty because they're on their side. So perhaps I'll set up a tripod and I'll see if I can drag them out. We'll get that tonneau cover off there. It's an old cover off the back of a utility. I don't think it's any good. I've just used it as a tarp. And this is the end. Yes, you can see they're in two sections. I think one has 3 drawers high and the other has 2 drawers. So we'll get the bottom one into the main room and have a look at it. They feel like they're empty, which is great. And we're going to have to find somewhere to keep those, because I definitely want to hang on to these. They're going to be great storage. I may have to restore them a little bit at some stage, as I probably will with that little blue set of drawers we just saw. I want to keep them, and I probably will restore them at some stage. But that's not a priority for now. Our priority is to make some room in this shed so that we can actually use it as part of the workshop. And some of these things may find a spot in here as storage, but at least we'll be able to access it. I'll set the tripod up and we'll try and move one of these in. Okay, they shouldn't be too heavy, although there's a lot of timber in them. Actually, they are quite heavy. So you can see the front of them. It's the old style filing drawers. They're quite popular, these things, and they bring pretty good money. And this one, someone has cut little pieces of masonite to actually seal up the bottom, because I think it would have had a steel rod through the bottom where you had like a card system. But all of them have this little bit of masonite dropped in to make really nice storage drawers. What does that one actually say? Scarston scrapers, bevels and caliper. So someone has clearly used this as shed storage before. Initially they probably would have been in an office. They've been a bit weathered, and some of the drawers are in better condition than the others. They may well have been swapped around a lot over the years, and some of them have had different handles put on them, and some of the handles aren't real flash. But it's going to be great storage for my workshop, so no need really to put them on the bench inside, I think. We might just have to move them out of the road in here, and we'll get something else to unbox. Since there's absolutely nowhere in my shed to keep these, I've put them together, so that's what they look like as a group, as like a unit, which, aren't they fantastic? They certainly need to tidy up, but they're awesome, an awesome piece of storage. And I would imagine to sell them, I would probably ask $250 for them just as they are, but I'm not going to sell them. I'm going to fix them up and use them. So they're going to reside on the deck for a little bit because they're out of the weather. They shouldn't be in the road too much there. And once I make a bit of room in that storage shed, I might put them back in a shelf in there, and then I can actually use them to facilitate me sorting out things, even if it's just like temporary storage for stuff as I sort it. But at this stage, they're going to have to stay on the deck for the moment. And let's go and get something else. We've got a fairly short video so far. We'll try and get something else out of the shed that can add us a few dollars. So where do we go from here? Well, I want something just quick to finish this video off, but I'm thinking I could concentrate on getting this unit out of the middle, and that will free up a lot more floor space. However, it presents a problem of where to put all the stuff. I mean, I don't think I want that racking inside. It can probably go outside. I may even sell it. But rather than work there, I might start on this unit on the wall here. We've done this section. Those boxes are just a bit of scrap and empty boxes and some tools in the pie warmer and my scrap. So let's start on the unit next to it, and if I can maybe empty the bottom shelf, then I can put those drawers we just looked at under there. That will be strong enough to hold it, and then we can actually use the drawers as temporary storage and, like, you know, as a sorting facility. So a lot of electronics, a lot of old TVs, a lot of vintage computers. I don't know what's in the top tub. There's a couple of boombox type things up there. There's going to be some random stuff amongst it. I'm not sure what's in the tub down the bottom. Don't know what's in a yellow crate. So let's get something quick off there, off the bottom. And yeah, I think we'll use that bottom shelf. So we're going to have a lot of vintage computers to sort out in coming weeks. I don't know if I'm going to scrap them. I don't like scrapping vintage stuff. I'm not really going to get into vintage computers as far as mucking around rebuilding them or anything. So maybe might even put some on eBay. I might pull them apart and sell the main boards. I'm not sure. We'll work it out as we go. Let's just deal with some of the smaller bits and pieces on the front here. There's some RAM set cartridges for, I don't know what these are for. They're fasteners for, doesn't say. I'm not sure what sort of market they're going to have. We'll grab those. We'll grab a few loose things here, and then perhaps next episode we might do the yellow crate and that toolbox. God knows what's in the toolbox. Maybe he doesn't even know. All right, let's get a few of these things on the bench. At least we'll get something else sorted. Okay, we have the Ramset cartridges and some filters of some description. Yeah, I know my eye looks bad, doesn't it? At least it's not sore. I'll get something else and we'll see if we can sort out all the loose things. A couple of little bits off the top shelf as well. Lots more Ramset thingos, an old canister, and some homemade electronics projects. Right, have we got any value? Let's have a look. Okay, I've done a little bit of checking and we don't really have much value, but the whole point of this exercise and the whole point of this series is to empty that shed. So if it doesn't turn out to be much value, it doesn't matter. We still have to process it. We'll get to this piece shortly. I think this is a homemade something or other. I don't know what. Empty box on the bottom and a project box where obviously some components there. It's got a speaker. I don't know, maybe it was a little amplifier. There is a mains cord, so we'll pull a lid off that shortly and see if we can use anything out of it, because I don't think it's saleable as it is. This canister tin has actually been painted, and they did a lot of this in the 1950s, and that's just like a transfer or a decal put on there. And I cleaned off a bit of this paint a long time ago. I can remember doing it now, and it was proving very difficult to clean off. Some paint's very hard to dissolve. I think it's an Activite tin. I can read bits of it, and the yellow suits. It's orange or yellow or orange on top. Perhaps that was orange and it's faded a bit, or my cleaning changed the colour. But it's a food tonic powder. I think it was a bit like Milo. Probably a 1950s tin, which is probably about when it was painted. The tin itself isn't rare, so even if I got all the paint off and it was in really good condition, I'll see if I can find you a picture of one from Google. But they're not a rare tin. They must have made lots of them, and I think they're only going to sell for $20 or $30 tops. So is it worth my while trying to get the paint off? Well, if I found a solvent that takes it off without damaging underneath quickly, then I would do it. But from memory, where I was experimenting there, I used quite a number of different solvents, and it really wasn't dissolving it. I might hang on to it just purely for experimental purposes, because some paint I've managed to get off just by soaking in water. Other paints I've had success with petrol or gas, and I'd like to try a few more solvents just to have a bit of an armory of solutions for this sort of problem in the future, because I can possibly sometimes get, and I have done before, very rare cans that are worth quite a few $100s, and you'd like to be able to take the paint off without damaging the original artwork. So we'll hang on to that one for now. If I was to sell it, I'd be lucky to get $5 for it. In fact, looking at those pictures, I think they've actually just been cut out of a magazine and pasted on. Anyway, we'll put it aside for now. No value there. Leaves us with some oil filters. These are Clark branded, which I assume are an aftermarket parts supplier. And I think they're a diesel oil filter for some sort of machinery. This one here has been opened, and the filter itself was probably never used, but it's now gone a bit rusty, so no one in their right mind is going to use that on a good expensive engine, so I think that can just go straight in our scrap. Cardboard can go in the recycle bin. This one here, the box has been a bit squashed, but I think the filter still has its plastic wrap. Let's open that up. Yeah, so it's still wrapped in plastic, so that would still be a good usable filter. Obviously someone's going to need to know what engine it suits, but I think I'll put this in the shop with the remains of the box so that people can read the part number, because I don't think the part number is actually on the filter, is it? Oh, it is, yes. So I probably won't worry about this box, but assuming this one's still wrapped in plastic too, we'll put them in the shop at $5 each. Surely someone down the track will know, and if we can never sell them, well, I'll put them in the shred steel for recycling, so they won't get thrown out at any rate. But I'll value these at, say, $5 each, $10 a pair, and we will throw the other one into the scrap metal. That leaves us with a big pile of these Ramset fasteners. Now, they're for steel, they're drive pins for steel, and they're all brand new old stock, but I suspect they may be sizes that aren't used anymore. It does say 3/8 inch head diameter, 5/32 shank diameter, used in 3/8 inch barrel. I think all the ones, I had a quick browse online, and all the ones I found in Australia at least were all metric. So whether these Ramset guns no longer have a 3/8 of an inch barrel and you can't use these old ones, I don't know. It comes with a steel plunger thing, and I think that's, I've never used a Ramset gun, but I think that's basically your projectile that the cartridge fires, and it's used as a hammer. So I'm guessing, with absolutely no experience, that somehow you fit the steel pin in the end of the gun and you fire it. This thing flies down a barrel of some sort and hammers it in with one big bang. I'm guessing. Correct me if I'm wrong. So what are they worth? Well, given that most people that use Ramset stuff may not have a machine that suits these, I don't know. I'm going to put $5 per packet. I think they would have been $20 or $30 or $40 per packet, quantity 100 when they were new, but I'm just going to do $5 a packet over the lot of them. There's quite a few here, so we'll add them up at that price, but I will monitor them, and if they're still in the shop and I haven't sold any for some time, we will then drop the price accordingly. If no one ever buys them, even if I drop it down to $10 the lot, then I guess they could just basically go in the shred steel. They're mostly steel, and the cardboard can go in the recycle bin. So again, they won't be thrown out, but we could possibly get a pretty good return if we get $5 per packet. I'll add up how many packets there are, and then we've got this last tin to look at. So I've just cleaned this tin up. It's a military tin. I believe it was ammunition, and it almost looks like it had some sort of peel off top like a sardine can, so maybe they were sealed and you had to roll the top off. I guess that would be sensible for ammunition. You'd want to keep it dry. Now, it is stamped on the side. It's actually Willow, which is an Australian-made company that produced metalware or tinware. They made a lot of kitchen stuff, and it's dated 1956, so it's just after World War II. And I guess I've seen lots of these in people's sheds. They must have been very popular from the army disposal stores as basically just shed storage drawers and all sorts of stuff. Good that they were repurposed. It's a bit rusty inside. I'm going to put $5 on it because it's dated, because we know it's an Australian-made one, and I'm pretty sure they're well known as military ammunition tins. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. So probably just $5 on that one. And that leaves us with this little project thing. So I'll put the camera down a bit closer. We'll take the lid off and see if there's any serviceable parts inside and work out what we're going to do with it. Okay, it's probably verging on scrap metal, but let's see what's in it. The bottom project box might be useful. The top one's got so many holes in it that maybe not. So there's only 2 screws left in the top. There was 6 originally. And we've got a speaker. Let's have a look in here. Oh, there's quite a bit of work in here. It's a little speaker there's not wired up. The wires have been cut, so whatever's going on with this, it's a non-working project. It certainly looks homemade. We have looks like some sort of audio plug. I guess that went out the front there. So I'm guessing an amplifier of some sort. We have a transformer here. Is that mains transformer? Where does the mains go? Yes, the mains wires go via a connector block into this transformer. What's this little packet here? National Bank matches. Has it got components in it? Oh, a couple of little Allen keys. How about that? So there's a printed circuit board here, and there's one of these little breadboard point-to-point wiring type boards here. There's quite a number of potentiometers, and this one's got a switch on it as well. I do sometimes keep those. It's a sort of unit you can find in a radio or something that may need replacing. But I don't think there's going to be many old parts I want to keep. I certainly won't be reusing old capacitors. So yeah, I'm not going to save any of these components, I think. I think we'll just scrap it out. The box I might keep. It's actually quite a nice box, although it has had a piece chopped out of this end. The transformer can probably just go in the scrap. I think the main component boards I'll just put in the e-waste. So yeah, not really much to save out of here except maybe the boxes. The bottom box is also an aluminium box, and it's quite a good box. It doesn't actually have a lid or a base, but the rest of it's quite good. It only has a few holes. Doesn't have any holes drilled. I don't think it's even attached. Maybe the rubber feet have just glued themselves onto the box. I think they have, yeah. Well, there you go. I don't think that was intentional. I think the rubber has just vulcanized itself to the metal from years of storage. Oh, okay, so there we have an unused project box. I will keep that. It's aluminium. It's not worth very much for scrap metal. And I think we'll gut this one out and keep this box as well. Even though it's got a lot of holes and a cutout in it, it still might be a handy project box for something. So really no value. I'm not going to weigh up any of the scrap. We'll just gut it out, keep a couple of the components and keep the boxes. So let's now wrap up this video with the notepad. I've scrapped out that little thing, but the box, half the screws were seized in the aluminium case. I'm not going to worry about scrapping it any further. They can just go in the iron aluminium, so I'm not keeping that one. Well, we'll keep that one. And we've got a little bit of wire. I actually threw some of the wire in the box here before I realised I probably should show you what I get. The board that was upside down has lots of chips on it. So I don't know what this thing was, but I'm just going to throw that in with my mid-grade boards, because even though it's a homemade board, I think it's got a lot of chips on it. A few little bits and pieces I decided to keep, and some hardware, plus also our 2 free little Allen keys. And the total, even though I didn't think this video would amount to very much at all, we still got $165. Now, most of that, well, a bit over half of that, is if we get $5 for the 17 boxes of Ramset fasteners we have there. I maybe, you might say, oh, he's dreaming, you won't sell them, no one uses that sort anymore. If that's the case, fine. I'm going to try. Sometimes you just got to put things in the shop and see how they go. The first weekend, someone might come in and buy it a lot, and I might say, oh, I'll do them for 50. So that's a bit of a flexible figure, that one. Perhaps to be fair, maybe I should just write down $100. We certainly could do better, but let's put down $100 on the notepad for the total of this unboxing. So yeah, not bad when I wasn't expecting much at all. And of course, we've got some really good drawers for storage down the track. So it's a win. A lot of space made, some good stuff to use, and a bit of stuff to sell. My eye looks worse today. It's the next day. I don't know how long it's going to take to clear up, but I guess you'll be able to monitor the progress of my videos. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.